right, peoples, let's jump in here. Good peoples. So, what we have I have a lot of divide by 10 work going on. So, as you guys know, August 8th is when officially MSTR did its 10 for 1 split. So, the contracts go up by 10, the number of contracts, and the price of the contracts get divided by 10 so that the net is the same. Very similar to the shares. Um, so I just made the concession here when I created my new August tab, bringing everything over. So ignore this 90% drop or 75% beat. So what we had on 8-8 was a 9.07 movement. Technically, it went from 124.68 to 135.99. We all know this was 1,246.8 something. But I just divided it by 10 and got it over with. And the same thing with this here. We had this, $1.94 taken out. So we bounced nicely, 855. We didn't quite do as well, and we're not capped at all. We just didn't quite keep up with MSTR. So, what is going on? There were no trades, although a lot, I suspect on Friday they're saving it. Um, there were 500,000 shares added, and on the previous day there were 650,000, right? So, when you get ex dividend and the price was 21.65, I mean, it was cheap. So, people were buying it, and then people were buying it again yesterday. Um, before it moved up. I also bought some MSTR, and then after it, I bought it at around 130 and a couple of pennies, and then I sold the 816 weekly for a little over $10. So at 131, I mean, I'm only going to make 50 cents on that. But if it comes back down and it hangs around 131, I'll just buy it back for pennies and write it again. So that's kind of the little bit of wheel. But the idea when I can make $10 on $130 stock in 6 trading days, I'm happy to do that. And so if it's 134, 135, I'm not going to pay $3 or $4 of my $10 to buy it back. But if it's close, knowing that I can write for a big premium. So clearly it's on an upswing. We're up in the pre-market to 61,000, and it looks like it's when it closed at 135, it looks like it's almost 140, 139. So again, that might be the upside for us. We may get up to 63 on BTC and pull back and then have, because normally there's, nothing is perfect. Otherwise, everybody would just bet on what the trend is and make money all the time. But when stock splits get announced, typically they're high flying stocks that are doing well and they want to make their stock price cut, especially these big 10 for 1. Nvidia did it, MSTAR did it. What do those have in common? They're both high flying stocks doing very, very well. And the idea is that more retail people can buy it. So now I can buy a couple hundred shares and write some contracts out there. It's a little bit easier when it's 120 or 130, $140 stock instead of a 12, 13, 1400. Although I was telling you, I just missed by $4 on that bloody red day. I looked at it, it had been like 1,008 or something in pre-market, and it was only a few minutes left. So I submitted this order to get it at 120 and figuring that it's going to come down when the market opened. Well, it came down from, 1050 or something, 1050, and I missed it by $4 because that thing turned around and ran up to 1300. So I probably would have just sold it. I don't even know if I would have wrote a call on that scenario, but I decided to get in yesterday, right around the open. So I got the price I wanted, and then I sold my call an hour and a half later or so. Okay, guys. So just telling you that I see why they're doing it. I watch what they're doing. I didn't want to do a synthetic. I simply just wanted to write a covered call, figuring that it's going to move up, and it is moving up. Um, I mean, I could have waited even more, but the old idea, don't be too greedy. I'll take my, you know, 7% in 6 trading days or something on my money. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, guys. So let's go look at the shares. So again, they didn't buy anything with that, right? They put money in the kitty. So I think what they're going to finish doing, let's go over here in the weekly. And on all of these, I had to add zeros, right? So the contracts went from 2,690 to 2,000. This was 70, this was 215. So since the price gets cut by 10, these have to get multiplied by 10. So I had said that before. People always say, well, Bruce, what's the impact on Misty? Well, there is no impact. There's a big impact on MSTR. And so the option traders have to do what I'm doing in the accounting. They have to realize that they're now dealing with a 145 option instead of a 1,450, and then their contracts went up by 10, but the math makes it exactly worth it, as it was before. But we only have one trading day to go, guys, and look at this: 17.666 point 6.3 and 5.189. These are all still on the table. Now, so let's jump over there and take a look at those. And I'll need to change my chart here, right? But it's easy to know that, this is 1400. I mean, this is 140, this is 120, this is 180, etc., right? They're just divide by 10. Take a zero away. Okay. So let's take a look at the holdings. So this is positive. We came down quite a bit. We came down from 88 million loss to a 56 million loss. So it's not going to take a whole lot. We're at 135, looking to open at 139. We wipe all of this out if we get up close to 15. Well, this number should be 155, right? So everything gets cut down. And then I had to make these go up, right? I just didn't bother over here, but while I'm looking at it, I'll do it. So look here. So this one, I don't know why they didn't take that off the table yesterday. Maybe they wanted to wait a day to write it, but you know, um, 99.58, zero. Look at that. It's 160. We're going to open though around 139. So that thing could ride up to 150. I hope it doesn't, because look what it would do here. You don't want these to get activated. Um, but in fairness, I see why they didn't take off the table 78%. This one I might have taken off the table, knowing that, I could buy, I collected 190, I don't have to pay 32. But the odds are it isn't going to run that high. But again, who knows? BTC and MSTR are two companies that can just fly. Shouldn't say companies. MSTR is a company. BTC is just a token of wealth, right? All right. So what else do we have? How's the fair price? 23.50 we closed at, and 23.47 is fair value. So this includes 500,000 in the share count increase. They're getting up there. I can remember this when it was under 2 million. It'll probably show in payouts. Let's go over there. Yeah, 1.3 the first month. And it was 950,000. And when they announced that on declaration that it was going to be, where is that? Oh, here we go. I was looking at these. 412. People just piled in like crazy, right? Even though the stock was very expensive then. I want to say it was like 35 or something. I don't really remember exactly what it was. I mean, it opened at 20, but it wasn't long It was in the 30s. So people still pile in about 325,000 saying, I want that. I was lucky I got in that thing cheaper. But I've added at higher prices, and I just added the other day at under, I think it was 2028, it was low 20s. Um, so Mr. has been a dream for people. I knew sooner or later it was going to hit for the cycle. 412, 252. This one surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be $3. And I thought this would be the first dollar payment, $1.60, $1.80, something like that. And here I thought, well, if they didn't do it last time, I don't think they're going to do it this time. I was thinking they were going to do 201. So I wasn't far off. I think my actual forecast was 207 or something, but I said between 201 and 209, and they went 194. And you know what, but look at this. I'm really pleased at this kind of a start. This is nice because they've already includes all of this week, which they pretty much have won. Now they do have a $56 million paper loss, but guys, the difference from closing at 135 now, one of the issues is this does expire on 8/16. So they could go ahead and take it off the table and dump this loss over here, put it all into a lower strike that's only, say, 145 instead of 155. And then have it just, if it continues up, go buy that. But I do like that we got off the ground here with a good one. All right, go Misty, go Coney. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. No real changes on this page, just that we look to win the weeklies and this is being dropped lower. All right, guys, again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Fun and entertainment. Have a great day ahead. And a weekend coming up, right? This is Friday for everybody. All right, happy Friday, peoples. Bye for now.